So One Punch Man is back. But for those of you that are frequent visitors of this channel for One Punch Man reviews, you notice something's a little off right now. You notice that you're seeing my face right now. I know, jump scare. And you're not seeing a bunch of slides of the chapter and just hearing my voice like normal. Well, that's because this chapter is not a normal chapter. And those of you that have read the chapter or have seen it already kind of know what I'm going to be getting at here. For those of you that aren't up to date with One Punch Man, don't keep up with it as frequently, we went on a 2-month hiatus. Well, not we, like I'm not drawing it, but like One and Murata did. They went on a 2-month hiatus, actually. They went on a 2-month break from the Ninja Village arc, and we're going to be picking up today with the latest chapter that just dropped. That was something that we were very excited about, the fan base, because for like 2 months prior, we had been getting Ninja Village redraws because the Ninja Village arc that Murata had drawn the first time around wasn't up to par with what he wanted, with what One wanted. And honestly, the fan base kind of felt the same. We thought that the arc was a little lackluster in certain areas. So they went back and redid it. And the redraws were great. The redraws were awesome. I mean, it doesn't compare to new content, right? Like, sure, the redraws of everything might make the story better, but obviously fans would much more prefer like new information, new events, new plot points in the story. So we were very excited to finally get into some new content, going off of the previous chapter where it left on a pretty awesome cliffhanger with Empty Void about to kill Flashy Flash and Sonic, only for them to be saved by Blast at the very last second. So it looked like we were going to be gearing up for a fight between Empty Void and Blast, which, I mean, it speaks for itself. It would be a super amazing fight. And that's what we were waiting for. That's what I thought we were going to be kicking off this 2-month hiatus return with. Would be like a banger of a chapter, maybe 40 or 50 pages like your classic One Punch Man chapter, and we'd see one Blast and Empty Void fight, maybe cut away to some stuff but come back to the fight. That's not what happened here. That is not what happened here. Here, let me fix this camera. That's not what happened in this chapter. I'm not exactly sure why they decided to come back with the chapter that they did, but whatever, we're going to review it. I'm going to talk about it. I didn't want to send this over to like my editor to make a legit video and stuff because it's just not worth it. I don't know. I don't want to like send a bunch of you guys away from this video thinking that it's like a terrible chapter and like there's no reason to watch this video. But if you want to leave, I don't blame you, honestly. But let me just share my thoughts on this chapter and kind of review it for you guys and share some, pictures on screen to some manga panels on screen to kind of give you guys a play-by-play of what I'm talking about. So this chapter is a short one. It's 13 pages. Let's go for one. While I talk about this. So, chapter is 13 pages long, and it does not touch on the Empty Void and Blast stuff that we were hoping to touch on as soon as we came back from this hiatus. In fact, we are actually going to none other than Suiryu and checking up on him, which is super random and weird, but the one good thing to come out of this chapter, and I hope this doesn't sound too terrible because it's like kind of loud outside right now, but anyway, the one exciting thing to come out of this chapter was definitely the introduction of a new Neo hero, one that if you're a webcomic reader, you're very familiar with, and one that I was personally very excited to finally meet in the manga. We're meeting them today, and it's pretty awesome. But I mean, I wish we would have got a little bit more of it, but whatever. Anyway, so the chapter starts out with Suiryu in the hospital, or he's leaving the hospital because he had suffered a bunch of injuries from the Super Fight tournament. And the nurses are giving him flowers and they're telling him to come back whenever he's injured or whatever. He's a good-looking dude. He's famous, whatever. So he leaves the hospital, and if you guys remember where we previously left Suiryu, he kind of like had this like groundbreaking moment during the Super Fight tournament where he wanted to become a hero just like Saitama. So that was kind of what he was set on as soon as he left the hospital. One funny little detail that comes up a little later is that he ends up not paying any of his hospital bills. And Suiko comes to visit him. His sister Suiko comes to visit him just to learn that he had already left. And she also learns that he had not paid his hospital bills and footed her with the hospital bills. So she was a little bit pissed off about that. But anyway, Suiryu leaves the hospital and he's kind of dead set on joining the Hero Association, of course. So on the way, I'm assuming towards the association, it's kind of hard to tell what he's talking about because the chapter isn't fully translated yet. But on his way there, he runs into an anteater monster, a tiger level anteater monster that's attacking this lady. Easily takes it out in a single kick, and he's like, yeah, I'm gonna join the heroes just like Saitama and like be like him, you know what I mean? That's pretty much what he wants. But anyway, so he's going on his way to the Hero Association, and he notices that a lot of things have changed. Primarily, the Neo Heroes are like plastered everywhere. Like everything says Neo Heroes on it. They've gained favor with the public. They're like more popular than the Hero Association now, apparently. But he's still kind of dead set on joining the Hero Association because Saitama's there, because that's what Saitama did. So he's trying to be like him, right? But before he goes to the Hero Association, another anteater monster, well, just the head of it, ends up falling right next to Suiryu. And it's like a lot bigger. So it's a much more powerful version of the monster that he destroyed. It's a demon level version of it. And Suiryu is like, I feel like this is kind of like deja vu, you know? And it kind of is, because the positioning of the head is like almost exactly the same as the positioning of the head that fell next to Suiryu Goketsu's head during the Super Fight tournament after Saitama took him out. So that's probably what he's referring to. But it isn't Saitama that killed this monster. It's actually a brand new hero that we haven't seen before, a Neo hero, and her name is Webby Gaza. Now, Webby Gaza is a pretty interesting character for a lot of reasons. And I mean, I can't get into those reasons if you're just a manga reader. You know, I don't want to spoil anything here. She's definitely a character that I wanted to meet in the manga, just to see like how Murata draws her, and like not for the reasons that some of you dirty guys might be thinking, but like I don't know, her whole backstory, the reason to her like powers, or like what's behind her powers, are pretty interesting. So it kind of left me interested in seeing how Murata would draw her. And I mean, I guess I didn't know what to expect too much, but she just looks like your classic idol. You know, in Japan and like South Korea, those countries, they call their superstars, their pop stars, idols, and that's what she is. So she's a pop star hero. She has like a whole camera crew with her. They're filming her like kill this monster, and I thought it was really funny because they're going to talk about like what gives her powers, or like what kind of power she has later in the manga. But I thought it was actually kind of funny like how they alluded to it in this chapter when like she was talking to the public, like addressing everybody after she killed the monster, and kind of gassing up the Neo heroes, you know. She stops like mid conversation to take like a gigantic gulp out of this big gallon of water. So I thought that was pretty funny, because I mean, those of you that are webcomic readers that know why she drank that water, it's kind of funny that like it got introduced so early on. But I don't know, for those of you guys that are just manga only, there are like 2 details in this chapter that you do want to really pay attention to, and that's one of them. That's one of those little details. And the second one is coming up. So after Suiryu sees Webby Gaza destroying the monster and all that, so it's like, again, it's kind of hard to tell exactly what he says from here, because it's not fully translated. But he then decides to join the Neo Heroes, or at least check them out, because either he's like attracted to Webby Gaza, he saw how beloved the Neo Heroes were, whatever reason. It's not really that important. He just decides to join the Neo Heroes instead. So he heads over to their facility, and they immediately accept him because he's Suiryu, he's famous, and he's really strong. So there's no reason they wouldn't. He gets fitted into a battle suit. Now, I don't remember if we've seen these battle suits. I'm pretty sure we have. We've seen the battle suits already in the manga. They are the battle suits that are given to Neo Hero members, pretty much all of them. And it enhances their strength. It pretty much unlocks their maximum physical potential, is what they're claiming that these suits do. So he tries this suit on, and if you guys notice, this suit looks very, very similar to the suits, all the suits that the private military group that Narinki hired to save Waganma in the Monster Association arc look like. Like, they look almost exactly the same. So that just raises the question. So did the Neo Heroes play a hand in the Monster Association arc that we weren't aware of up until now because they have the same exact suits? Or is there an outside force or entity that provided these suits to the Neo Heroes and to the private military group? That's kind of behind the scenes that we haven't met yet. Now, I mean, again, I don't want to get too much into webcomic stuff, and honestly, this is kind of theory stuff. But this is definitely something you want to remember. These power suits, it's definitely not a coincidence that they look very similar to the private military group power suits. So just pay attention to that for you manga only people. And as Suiryu's getting fitted into this suit, he's like, I guess, feeling its power, or it's like enhancement of his own power. And he flexes his muscles and ends up destroying the entire suit. So he freaks out. And it's a very similar situation to like how when Saitama first approached the Hero Association as soon as the Monster Association arc ended. And he like destroyed that battle robot that was like millions of dollars, and he like freaked out. It's kind of like the same vibe here, where like Suiryu like destroys the suit. He hears that it's like $5 million per suit, and he's like, well, crap, I have to work for the Neo Heroes for free now. Like, I have to work for them because I destroyed their suit. I have to pay them back. So that part was kind of funny. And again, like, the translations are a little odd for me right now. So like, it almost seems like they meant for him to destroy the suit to kind of like tie him in, or to rein him in. So it might have been planned, but that part's not really that important, because immediately after this, he's like kind of reluctantly meeting Metal Bat, because again, he's kind of like loathing, like, damn, I just destroyed this $5 million suit, and now I have to work for the Neo Heroes to pay it off. And the chapter ends with him shaking hands with Metal Bat, and that's the end of it. So again, this chapter does not seem like it had a whole lot going on. Honestly, just to be fully transparent with you guys, I was pretty damn disappointed when I saw this chapter. Pretty damn sad. Not because it didn't have any like crazy fighting in it, or because it didn't have like, you know, the testosterone action that we all wanted to see or anything. It's just like, it's not even that bad of a chapter itself, to be honest. It's just like the placement of it, because here we are like finally getting done with a ton of redraws, like 2 months of redraws for a ninja arc that already wasn't even that great to begin with, like the first iteration of it. We finally got done with rehashing all that content. We're like, okay, we're finally going to get to some new content with Blast versus Empty Void or whatever else. And then the 2 month hiatus happens. Which again, I don't blame Murata for taking this 2 month break, because the guy deserves it. The guy draws incredible manga panels, incredible chapters, and he gave us like an insane experience with the Monster Association arc. So the guy deserved a break. You know what I mean? He deserved to take some time off if he wanted to. And I'm glad that he did. He seems like he's been refreshed. He's excited to get back to drawing more manga. And that's cool. But like, why come back with this? You know what I mean? Like, wait, I would be fine waiting another 2 weeks if we had this chapter kind of mixed in with a much larger chapter, a more exciting one. And that's like another thing. Like you knew you were on this hiatus for so long. And I'm not just speaking to Murata. I'm speaking just to like, I don't know, like the editors, or like, I guess like One and Murata collectively. I don't know. Like I don't understand the reasoning behind the chapter that they put out, because not only is it super short, which is whatever, you know, but also it's completely detached from what we were like dealing with prior to the hiatus. Like it was left on a huge cliffhanger, and along with this super long break, it just seemed like it would be a perfect opportunity to come back with a bang. You know what I mean? And a lot of people are arguing like this chapter was probably made before Murata took his break or something, and his whole entire break he was literally just not doing any manga, which that's understandable and that's cool. But again, like, don't just release this chapter. You know what I mean? Like, add something to it once Murata's back, and maybe wait another week or two to come back, because I don't want to say this is like spitting in the face of the fans, because it isn't. I mean, we're entitled, whiny One Punch Man fans. We always want like great content all the time.
But I want it now!
I don't know. I just feel like it kind of undermined the excitement and the anticipation of the entire fan base to finally get the manga back. You know what I mean? Yeah, which kind of sucks. But I mean, on the bright side, I don't want to like make this a super negative video. Like, let's just be very happy that One Punch Man is back. Let's be excited for the next chapters to come. Hopefully, we're not completely straying away from Blast and Empty Void for like another chapter or two. and we actually finally get into the meat of stuff. But you know, it is what it is. I'm just glad we're back. I'm glad Murata seems to be doing good, and he's excited to get started again. I'm not very excited right now, but it's okay. And that's why I decided just to make this video versus like making a regular one, so I can just kind of talk to you guys man to man or man to woman, whatever. Um, Let me know what you guys think about this chapter in the comments, though. Like I said, I the chapter itself isn't bad. It's just like the circumstances around it that make me just not like it that much more. So on its own, though, I'd give the chapter like, I don't know, like a 6 out of 10, maybe a 5. But what do you guys think? Let me know your opinions in the comments below. I'm very curious to hear kind of where you guys have been at these past couple months in the hiatus and how this new chapter kind of sat with you. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Do you think I'm a whiny baby? All opinions are valid. Let me know in the comments below. I'm very glad to be making videos for you guys again because I haven't been making that many lately. Oh, long videos at least. And there is going to be many more to come. Many more One Punch Man videos and all sorts of videos. So be on the lookout for that. If you want some more like conversational stuff like this where I'm talking to the camera and kind of walking with you guys and showing panels on screen, let me know because that's something I could definitely do. But I understand if you don't because I wouldn't want to stare at my face for 15 minutes either. So with that being said, I appreciate all you guys. Enjoy your morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world. And I'll see you guys in the next chapter. Peace out.